they used a consumer fraud statute, okay? Consumer fraud is when a Verizon, an AT&T, is surcharging everybody on their bills 2 cents more than they should have. Consumer fraud, Letitia James steps in. This is what she's supposed to do as the AG, and protects the state of New York constituents, takes care of it, sues AT&T, and says, hey, we don't like this. It's like what's going on with Apple right now, okay? The DOJ is going after Apple, saying you can't have a monopoly. So those are consumer fraud statutes. She used a consumer fraud statute against a private company and a private individual because after 3 years, she didn't have anything. So instead she said, okay, I can't find an actual fraud. I can't find. So after 3 years of investigation, I'm going to have to use a consumer fraud statute. By doing that, the judge didn't have to give us a jury. Okay. And their own experts didn't come up with numbers like 375. Their own experts, the baddest people they could find, couldn't get to that number. And the judge gave Letitia James everything and more than she asked. That's what happened. It was so mind-boggling. But of course, Mar-a-Lago's $18 million.
Up to bullies. We've got to stand up to an administration which is too male, too pale, and too stale.
Do you think that Donald Trump should sue New York Attorney General Letitia James?
Yes, welcome back. Alina Harper demand Jon Stewart be investigated makes me so angry. I don't know if you have seen the whole segment. When you go down this article recently put out by Newsweek, Donald Trump lawyer has slammed Jon Stewart not facing charges for selling his home for more than its assessed value when compared to her client's legal woes. The comedian spoke about former President Trump's fraud case on a recent episode of Comedy Central, The Daily Show. Now taking a look at what Trump lawyer said here, it makes a lot of sense. Before I say anything, it will be important I play this video so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But before I do that, if you're not subscribed to this channel, please endeavor to do that.
Jon Stewart, okay? Jon Stewart's story comes out. I think it's a New York Post story, page 11 if you guys want to go to it. Okay, so Jon Stewart found to have overvalued his New York City home, Alina, by 829%.
What?
After labeling Trump's civil case not victimless, Jon Stewart criticized Trump's civil case over inflated property values, stating this has never been prosecuted. In response to experts framing the case as non-harmful, it was revealed that Stewart's Tribeca duplex sold for $17.5 million in 2014, a staggering 829% more than assessed value at $1.882 million. Internet sleuths uncovered Stewart's property history, leading to accusations of hypocrisy. Stewart's penthouse sale price after far exceeded its assessed value, raising questions about his own benefit from overvaluation, with political commentator Tim Pool alleging, did Jon Stewart commit fraud when he sold his penthouse for $17.5 million? If that's the case, Rob, is this the clip or what is this here?
This is a clip of Jon Stewart talking about the civil fraud case and how it's not a victimless crime.
Go ahead and play this clip, Rob.
Because they are not victimless crimes. First, the banks got paid back at lower interest rates, although, to be honest, who gives a shit? But second, money isn't infinite. A loan that goes to the liar doesn't go to someone who's giving a more honest evaluation. So the system becomes incentivized for corruption. And this is part of a different Trump fraud case, but avoiding taxes hurts all of us. Donald Trump shenanigans cost the city of New York.
Right there.
Yeah.
So
Oh my
how
God.
different is this case versus what they're accusing Trump of doing?
I don't even know where to start with it.
You almost turned into Anderson Cooper right
I
there.
almost.
Yeah.
I'm so angry by watching that. I actually hadn't seen that. I heard the story.
Yes, Alina Harper is on fire. She recently had this interview and she said a lot of things that are vital important. We take an exclusive look into what is going on exactly. I believe you have seen a lot of video surface on social media. Even Jon Stewart recently had a segment where he tried to go after Trump. A minute after, a lot of articles surfaced on social media exposing who he is.
I'm so angry by watching that. I actually hadn't seen that. I heard the story. It's no different, but the reality is that Trump actually didn't. If anything, his properties were undervalued. He put Doral at a couple, I don't even remember the numbers, but Doral's worth way more than it was on there. I mean, the statements were actually undervalued, and his statements were prepared by an accounting firm, not a small accounting firm, a major accounting firm, who put a cover sheet saying, do your own due diligence, folks, but this is what we estimate we're worth. Just like anybody in New York. It's like, okay, let's even say in some made up land, the numbers were high, which they weren't. Let's say that, okay? Then you got a sheet that says right on the front, excuse me, do your own due diligence. On top of that, who's President Trump going to? Deutsche Bank. He's right. You know what, Jon Stewart? The only thing that was right, you're right. He went to Deutsche Bank. He didn't go to a mom and pop. He went to one of the highest regulated banks to get loans that he actually didn't need. It was solely because of, mortgage. It's what you do. It's how you make money. It's better to have a mortgage sometimes when you don't need it. And they got paid off early. They made money. Okay. And who is the victim? Now, in his case, I want to see what they do with it. Is he going to be investigated for 3 years? Where are you, Tish?
Yeah.
Where are you at?
Yeah.
You're going to go after your own? No one is above the law.
Yeah.
Show me.
Yep. Exactly.
Show me.
And by the way, we can help her. If Letitia James is watching.
That clip should be used in her case against him. By the way, let me help you, Letitia.
Yeah.
You should play that video. I'm sure you'll be allowed to play videos. I'm not, but you will. Let's see it happen.
Yeah.
Let's see. No one is above the law. I can't, when I hear that, the hypocrisy in that statement, show me. 829% overvalue of his New York City home. And that's a personal profit. Why don't they use the same consumer statute against him like they used against Trump?
Before you try to wipe something on somebody's eyes, check yours. He didn't bother to check that. Reasoned, we have now seen what he did. He overvalued his property and he's still having voice to speak up. That is the most annoying part in this, because he's a Democrat. Nobody will investigate them. Nobody will do anything. Reasons, you see them still have a voice. Alina Habba said a lot of things on this video, which I saw to be important. We should really dive into it. I did not want to do the follow-up of this video, but when I looked through, and the way a lot of people are reacting on social media, I said, we should do that. When you go down on this article, now Trump lawyer Alina Habba has weighed in on the issue. I don't know where to start with. Habba said on Tuesday episode of the PPD podcast, she defended Trump first by alleging his property were undervalued, which were prepared by a major accounting firm, which was the correct due diligence. Habba then argued that the reason Trump even applied for loans he actually didn't need was because it's better to have a mortgage and it is how you make money. She also mimicked U.S. Attorney General Letitia James, who had prosecuted Trump on the fraud charges, and her much repeated refrain that nobody is above the law, and called on her to prosecute Stewart over the sales of his apartment. Why don't they use the same consumer statute against him like they use against Trump? Habba question. That is it. She said the truth here. If you are able to use that, do the same thing here. We will end up not even seeing her acting in this case. That was her main aim to go after Trump. So she has achieved that. What next? I'm just asking, what next? Thank you guys for always being there, sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly.